Just wanted to make a short video, um, just because I've been thinking a lot about the nature of reality. And yes, I'm high, who cares? Um, anyway, I've been thinking a lot about the nature of reality and, the meaning of life, as I always have, as I always have my entire life. But especially now, I think I've finally maybe found a type of answer that's satisfactory. And that's, first time I got a high in my hometown of Houston, it was a few months ago, October, and as I was walking around, looking at the leaves changing, it was fall, and fall is my favorite season in Houston. I hate every other time of the year, but fall is amazing. Anyway, and I was just walking around out there, and the leaves were changing colors, and for the first time ever, I noticed how beautiful it was. There were so many trees there, and I've always hated that city. Every time I think of it, I just think of, I don't know, highways and oil stains. It's just concrete. It's disgusting, and the people are even worse. But that's when I realized the magic of weed, because in my whole life, I'm 36, and in my whole life, I've always hated Houston, but seeing it, the way the weed made me see it completely differently, I couldn't believe it, So that's when, I always knew the power of weed, but that completely convinced me that this is a good thing. It's, who doesn't want to see their home city or the city where they were born as something beautiful instead of something ugly? Anyway, that's just some of the changes I'm just notating recently, one of the big ones. But, doing a lot of other stuff, mesotepic, mushrooms, things like that. And living here, near Amsterdam in the Netherlands with, just tons of stuff, coffee shops everywhere, smart shops. Yeah, it's just wild. A lot of cool people from all over the world, and a lot of good techno and house, and a lot of great music, and just beautiful, clean air and everything. It's really giving me time to think. And I remember that day in Houston, like I said, that first time that I saw Houston differently while I was, under the devil's lettuce. This thought came to me, which is the whole point of this video. To be or not to be, that is the question. And of course, that's from a Shakespearean play, right? Which, I don't even remember which one. I think it's Macbeth or something. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to try to think of all the different Shakespearean plays, or Hamlet, maybe it's Hamlet. I don't know, fuck. I think it's Hamlet though. Anyway, the point is, it doesn't matter where it's from. The meaning, and actually I know the words are actually one of those things that are, the quote is inaccurate. The original quote is actually something different. Of course it was translated. Anyway, I could go on and on. The point is, none of that matters. What matters are the words and what they mean to me. To be or not to be, that is the question. And I don't know, that just came into my mind, and I started thinking about, what does that mean? And it means life or death, to live or to die. That's pretty obvious, right? In a lot of ways, but you can go so deep into it, which is what I did, of course, because that's what I do naturally, and especially high. Oh my God. So I started wondering, what does to be or not to be really mean? To choose either as a conscious being, as a human life form, or any type of life form that has, power over their own destiny and can move and walk and choose what to do, to either choose life or to choose death. To be or not to be, that is the question. And I realized that is the question, as in the question, capital THE, the question. What is the meaning of life? That's the meaning of life. That says everything, to be or not to be. Basically, the meaning of life is to live. There's only really, if you go down, I'm not saying I'm some nuclear physicist or something like that. I've definitely done tons of research and things like that. And I don't know, just a hobbyist. You probably know just as much as I do. Quantum mechanics and all that. But I think most people, at least we haven't found a better version of this to believe, that at the base level, there's basically just like particles, right? Nothing, basically, quote unquote. So why did these original particles, forms whatever you want to call them, you know, a spark of life, this original conscious form of consciousness, quote unquote, the Big Bang, whatever you want to call it. Why did it choose to have something instead of nothing, to be or not to be? So that's what made me push me to that direction. Oh, this is really, like, to me, a hint at the true meaning of existence, and the answer, when you start wondering about it and you start really thinking about it, the answer comes to you just by way of logic. I'm not saying, you know, anyone can have all the answers. In fact, that's sort of like my point. Spoiler alert here, the point I'm going to make at the end, that none of us can have all the answers. You know, we're all just trying to figure it out. So this is just my little piece of the puzzle. I'm not saying I'm right or anything like that. It's just ideas I have. I'm not, you know, trust me, I've gone to times in the past when I felt like, what's the word? I don't know, I just believed everything that popped into my head. You know, I was basically in a state of, like, mania. Obviously, I don't believe everything that just pops into my head now, but it doesn't, I definitely take it up for consideration. But anyway, I need to get this shit off the screen. Let's see, I don't know, this is my first time doing this. But anyway, to be or not to be. So why is there something instead of nothing? That's the whole point here about existence. As you see my wall scroll, that's basically it. You know, it's classic, you know, synthwave, retro 80s, you know, sunset. But if you look closely, you can see it all fading away into the digital landscape, you know, the illusion of reality. And but yet it's beautiful, the sunset and the palm trees, and the camera can't pick it up that well, but it has like a starry sky, and it's just beautiful. And that's the whole point to me. I'm just realizing this right now, what it actually means, because it just came in today. I ordered it a few days ago, and that's why I'm recording this video, because I actually have something that's not boring to look at. At least in my opinion. Anyway, yeah, so I just realized what this thing means to me, which is sort of what I'm talking about here, which is that even though we know beneath the surface it's all an illusion, as you can see the grid, you know, on the bottom of the wall scroll, look at how beautiful the illusion is. What does it matter that it's an illusion? A reality, illusion? They never existed. Those are just like man-made concepts. They're essentially the same thing. They're just what's always been. And that's what the conclusion I came to, that the meaning of life, to be or not to be, that is a question. Well, the answer to that question is obviously life, to be, because that's why I'm able to, that's why you can see me, that's why I can see you, that's why I can speak. Obviously there's life, so life chose life. The originating spark, original form of consciousness, God, whatever you want to call it, Big Bang, you know, that beginning chose life. That's the natural order of things. Life, to be. So that's the answer to life, to the question, to be or not to be. That is the question. The meaning of life, as in first it asks a question, choose life or choose death. And the answer is inherently here, because we're living. So obviously life chose life, or the original spark, whatever you want to call it, chose life. That's the answer. That's the meaning of life. Life, to live. The meaning of life is to live. Every life form on this planet, including us as human beings, we're all programmed clearly like biological machines to procreate. That's why we try to look pretty. That's why we try to make money. That's why we try to make sure, you know, our physique is of good childbearing, you know, capabilities. Think about it, everything we do, people buying gold watches, everything like that, it's all because they want to attract the opposite sex, or maybe the same sex, whatever. It's all to love, to procreate. And what is love? It's not just like casual sex or romantic relationships. The reason we love is because we want to continue living. It's a form of like survival. It is, you know, we die without it, right? Without like some type of human interaction. I mean, I'm not saying we'll die, but we'll die at least inside. The vast majority of us. So what I'm trying to say is all we're ever trying to do is to continue living. That's why we have offspring. We're designed for it. Look at our genitalia. I mean, we're crude machines. It's not even trying to hide the fact, as far, you know, meaning life. Life's not even trying to hide the fact that the point of life is to live. I mean, it's clearly right there dangling between our legs. or not. But yeah, so that's my whole point. Just thinking about the nature of reality, the point of life, and I just wanted to record this video, just talking about how I think the meaning of life is to live, and I don't know, I just think that's interesting and beautiful. We can see it all around us with trees and plants and bugs and insects and sea creatures. Everyone's just always pushing, towards life. It's only some shitty humans that are, push the idea of death by obviously destroying the earth, and all these type of things just for greed, for the benefit of a few instead of many. But there's always going to be people like that, and that's a whole other video that I could record that I'm not going to record right now, as far as my idea of why evil exists and why it has to exist in order for us to, basically in a nutshell, even be able to define happiness or feel happiness. There has to be the opposite, evil. To feel anything, to feel the satisfaction of eating a meal, you have to know hunger, or otherwise it's just neutral, or it's just whatever. But to really, really know how good it feels to eat something when you haven't eaten anything in a long time, you have to fucking starve, or at least not eat in like a day or two. Oh man, then you're gonna know what a super delicious, oh my god, grilled cheese sandwich with steak, with avocado tastes like. And washing it down with some, milkshake. Anyway, but that's a whole another video that maybe I'll record later, as far as my idea of, not my idea, but ideas many people have had, a million before me and a million now. It's just ideas that I have that I want to share as well, because I know there's a lot of other people that think the same way. But yeah, just my ideas of why good and evil, everything has to exist, yin yang. Anyway, that's another video maybe, if I'm not feeling lazy. But I just wanted to talk about this, my point of, the question about life and why life exists. Now then, you have to ask yourself, I'll just top it off with this at the end, because then I'm going to watch some wrestling. And it's like about 5 in the morning or something. Finish it off with this. Okay, so the original spark of life, i.e. God, chose life. Okay, and that's what we're still on. But why? And what was it? What, I'll give a real, just quick, because I would have to explain this in a super long video, my ideas about this, what reality is. But essentially, I think it's a matrix, as in, you could think of it as a computer code, like a video game, within like a vacuum. It's like a computer program within, software or hardware. I don't know, however you want to look at it. Anyway, so that's what I think this reality is. But then you ask yourself, why, who started this? Like, who basically pushed the start button? And see, that's the thing. That's where I think human beings can't see beyond, because I think that's like the spiritual realm. I think we're basically in a matrix, as in basically like a virtual reality that was started, Basically, the start button's hit. It's like a mushroom grow kit, or whatever. You hit start and then, blah, 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 or like a chia pet, if anybody remembers those. It's just like a domino effect. But I think what's outside of this matrix is something we can't even fathom. And that's my whole point. Like, I think I'm not going to try to be such an arrogant human being that I think I can actually understand what reality really is. Because I don't think anybody can. I think if someone says they can or they know, it's complete and total bullshit. I mean, even if they truly believe it, that doesn't mean it's true. I'm not saying they're all lying. Some of them, I'm sure a lot of them probably truly believe it, that they know what the afterlife is. But even if they truly believe it, that doesn't mean it's true. Maybe that's just what they saw or they experienced. It doesn't mean that's actually like what's beyond this reality. That's what I'm trying to say. Though I don't discount it. Maybe one of them is right. Maybe they're all right. I don't know. I'm just saying, keep your mind open and don't lock yourself down to any one idea. That's what I try to do as much as possible. But that's my point. I think we're all within a matrix, and what's beyond that, I think we can't say as human beings. We can't. It's like an ant. You can't teach an ant how to build a rocket ship. It only has certain limitations. Even if you pump that ant full of LSD or something, you'd probably just blow it up. But anyway, my point is, I do believe we have limitations. I do. We can get close. We can see glimpses, but I don't think anyone can really tell you what is beyond this reality. But I do think it's something non-physical. Spiritual realms make sense. But maybe that's just my little monkey brain, and that's how far I can see. Ooh, ah, I don't know. Anyway, But that's my point, that explains this reality and why it exists. But what's beyond it? Now that's the real question. Now that's capital THE question. And that, I don't know. There's a million, theories, of course. Aliens, interdimensional beings. I don't know, but honestly, I think anything's possible. Humans from the future creating, themselves basically from the start. I don't know, in order to try to create maybe a better version of themselves. It's like they say, like, God created us in their image. What do human beings do? We make children and we try to raise them to be better than us, to basically be our successors, right? So maybe our gods, our creators, are exactly the same with us. They're just basically they've remade themselves and hope to remake themselves in a greater image. I don't know, but I think it's interesting to think about and to wonder, because if people don't wonder these things, then you get too lost in the fantasy that is this reality, which is just chasing money and chasing this and chasing that. And then you wonder why you're so unhappy, because you're just chasing these things that you've been programmed to chase, but they're not something that you actually want to follow yourself, within you. So it's not actually feeding your passions or your love, Me, I gave up on that shit a long time ago. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody. There's a bunch of people that I consider way better than me that I look up to, that I'm basically chasing. I feel like I'm still a babe in the woods, I'm a lifelong student. I feel like I'm just beginning, really, honestly, at this point. I feel like I'm at the very start. But at least I'm at the start. I mean, it took a long time to get here, but at least I made it. I mean, that's how I feel anyway. Anyway, I need to watch some wrestling. I might regret this and delete this video, but guess if you're watching this, I didn't. Yeah, I'll probably keep it, fuck it. Anyway, yeah, so I guess the best we can do is, like I said, who cares if it's a fantasy, like my, getting back to the tapestry, or wall scroll as I like to call it. And the point is, just like the wall scroll, even though it's an illusion, it doesn't matter because it's still beautiful. Just like that sunset and the palm trees and the starry night. So enjoy the video game while you're playing it. And just hope that whatever comes next is something even better. That's what I do. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy the video game while I'm here, while I'm playing it, It's not, I try not to take things so seriously. Yeah, it's just like whatever. Yeah, things get me down sometimes, but I just realized it's a game, so who cares? But yeah, I think that's a good way to live. At least it's helped me, but everyone's different. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about, like I said, my idea about this life and the meaning of it. Just because I was feeling really good, and I got this cool poster, or a wall scroll, because it's actually made of cloth, so that's what I like about it. It just looks beautiful. But anyway, yeah, I just had to record this because I thought, why not? Like I said, a lot of these things have been helping me quite a bit. The Mazatepec are really amazing. Definitely gonna revisit those soon, though that's a little scary, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, it's really early here. I'm really tired. I just recorded a lot of dancing videos right now, to I don't know, 10 songs or something, that was fun. That was fun. Of course, it'd be great if, millions of people watched them and I became rich and famous. That'd be great. But honestly, they were just fun to make. They were really fun. And if even one person says they like them, I'm like, wow, that's cool. That's really cool. That, somebody actually gets it. Somebody understands, But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go watch wrestling now. It's off.